for me, entrepreneurship has always been the way.
Investing is important because it's the only way you are going to be able to get rich and wealthy for your family. We can close the wealth gap by working together.
Market Monday is the biggest investment show ever.
My life has literally changed since watching EYL.
When you can make people money and you can add value, they're going to be forever indebted to you.
And I promise you this year, I'm going to make y'all even more money.
Yo,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Happy Monday.
we here,
We are back.
we live, we alive.
Mm-hmm.
A lot to be here, to be celebratory about.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, welcome to Market Mondays. We are so happy that you are here with us. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat early. I saw some of them zip codes was going up. Shout out to 916. Shout out to everybody, man. I love the zip codes because it tells us that this is not just a domestic thing. This is a global reach. So
For
shout out
sure.
to y'all. My brothers, how y'all feeling? Ian, how you feeling, my guy?
Amazing. How you feeling? Shout out to 219. Shout out to both of my cousins back home starting varsity. I love y'all. Go Cardinals. I'll be home soon.
congratulations.
Yeah, that's dope.
Congrats.
Yeah, for sure, man. We got a lot to get into. This episode is going to be a classic. It's going to be a classic for sure. So
For sure.
let's not waste too much time. You know, I know it's Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Everybody's, on the run,
Mhm.
eating. Hopefully everybody's has a healthy and joyful Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And we're gonna give a big shout out to my brother Kevin Rowley,
Yes.
city councilman in the Bronx. He had a oxtail giveaway
Mhm.
today. He's been doing the oxtail, the goat giveaway.
That's
for
smart.
Thanksgiving, mix it up a little bit. He gave out turkeys a little later too.
Yes,
but
yes.
he gave out the oxtails. A lot of Jamaicans in his district, so he wanted to be a little bit different. So, man, that was good. A good thing to see. A lot of elderly people were there in Co-op City today. So, shout out to Kevin Rowley, man. Did a great job, man, for sure. And some housekeeping items. Blackout, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this week.
Can't wait.
We got a lot to talk about, man. There's a lot.
So much going on. Ooh.
There's a lot going on. But then also, since this is a Thanksgiving week, we're not going to drop an Earn Your Leisure episode this week. Watch Blackout, watch Market Mondays. Just binge watch on that and spend some time with your family.
That's most important.
And I want to give a shout out to EY University. Man, the community is so amazing.
Mhm.
We had Earners National Day of Give Back over the weekend.
Yep.
And man, over 4,000 turkeys given away in Houston and Ohio.
Yep.
We had earners come out from over 20 cities serving their community.
That's incredible.
Man, Hurricane Melissa relief,
Yeah,
including DMV, North Carolina, South Florida.
Shout out to them, man. That's a personal thing. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody giving back to the country. Shout out to Jamal Bryant as well. I see he met with the Prime Minister the other day, so shout out to that.
Did he? Okay. That's
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, so big shout out to EY University, man. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Northern California too. Shout out to them. I know that they did a give back in a little bit of a different way. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Colorado chapter, man. I see y'all out there. I'm watching all the pictures. Y'all look beautiful. Y'all making us look beautiful. It's a great thing, man. It's giving back is paramount. It's a foundational pillar for us. So we appreciate y'all.
It's a vibe. And then the last thing I'll say is myself and Troy will be in DC in December 10th through the 13th. They're having the Thanksgiving Summit. Shout out to the Thanksgiving Summit at National Park Stadium in DC. So, we're going to be there. They're going to be talking about AI. They're going to be talking about all things technology related. So you can go to Thanksgiving Summit 25.com to get your tickets, and you can enter code EYL50 for 50% off discount. But at DMV, we are coming to your area in December. So we want to see you guys, man. Show your love.
Yeah, please do. We love it.
It's a few DC trips.
You don't say.
January.
You don't say.
I do one January, February.
Yeah, man. I'll do the disclaimer really quickly.
Ian.
Oh, okay, good.
What happened?
You want to say anything?
I'll wait till.
All right.
Yeah.
Bet. All right, so y'all know how this works, man. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show in which to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Shout out to everybody that is using the research and is executing on the research.
Yes.
The most important piece is the execution part. We love y'all. This is how we build wealth. This is how we build our brokerages. This is how we build our community. Shout out to my brothers. Shout out to Shadi. Shout out to Ian.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody here. That statistic that we saw this weekend was very humbling. 60. I think Black wealth has grown by 60% since 2020. Man, every now and then you just gotta sit back and say, "Wow, look at what the work is doing." So, congrats to y'all, brothers, for real.
And kudos to everyone executing on the information who's been supporting all platforms and all the shows from day one. I love y'all dearly.
That's a fact.
Important.
Hit the like button and share. We got a jam-packed episode. And I do want to say happy birthday to my brother Jason Goodwin.
Yes, it's crew love.
Yeah, and happy birthday to Mike, his son. Birthday
last week.
Yeah,
we shouted him out.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's get into this, please.
Oh, before shout out to everybody that pulled up to the class on Thursday. Shout out, I appreciate y'all and everybody. That information that we got, we saw one of those companies just got added to the S&P. Maybe we talk about that, maybe we don't. But shout out to y'all for executing. I love, preach.
What's the futures trading tip of the week? Start off there.
Number one, Mondays and Fridays are the biggest days for trading. So on Monday and Fridays, I want you to use your big target. So ES 40, NASDAQ 220 and up, 440 and up. But on the days for you, those of you who don't listen, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, use your short target. A lot of times we get in a battle of should we do the big target or short, but do both. Mondays and Fridays are usually the bookend days of the market. Today was a great example. The market was on fire. Today would have been a great day to use a big target. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, for those of you who have the skill set to do so, I will go for a shorter target, maybe 4 ticks, maybe 10, maybe 16, get in and out. So that way you have your income generating trades on Monday and Fridays, but then you can start to add some percentage gains on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays if you see a move there, and take advantage of the market. So for those of you who are trying to speed up your journey, or you're in a more of an advanced trader and you see a move that's too good to turn down, get in and out of the market on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with a shorter target and live to fight another day.
That's it, man. Whole lot of game right there. So man, we're gonna get into it. We're not gonna play no games because there's a lot going on in the world, and the people need the information. So I want to go to something that is right up there as far as the importance level. If you was in the EY University class last Thursday, put some fire in the chat.
Yeah.
I know you had spoke about a company, right?
Yeah.
And then there was some news that broke on that. So talk about that. We're gonna give them some window into EY University.
Just give it away. Yeah. So one of the things we've been studying obviously is the AI revolution. And we said that the AI revolution will be monetized. And so we've been breaking this down like to a fundamental matter where it's like, yeah, we know the big players, we know the Nvidias of the world, and we know the Broadcoms of the world, and we know the AMDs, but those systems don't work without some of these precursors. And so we've been doing very granular. We started with the memory sector when we were talking about Micron, and we talked about Western Digital, and we talked about Seagate, and we talked about connectivity, and when we talked about Broadcom. And we started to look even deeper, right? And I started thinking about how we can treat AI and really artificial intelligence from a power standpoint, but also from a connectivity standpoint, like a human body, right? So if I'm looking at what company is the heart of this, right? That would be easy. You would tell me NVIDIA. Well, if I looked at Broadcom as like the connectivity, that would be like the veins and the arteries of this, right? But in order for the heart to work, it needs to have blood flow, right? And it needs to have valves. And so I started to look like what would be the valves. And then I found a company called Fabrinet. right? And so if you think about it, Fabrinet is almost like that valve that allows the connectivity to run faster. And I'm like, all right, this is great. And so we talked about that. We actually talked about that in Stock Club a couple weeks ago, and I told people to do the research on it. Then we dug a little bit deeper, and I was like, okay, we've got that. Let's go back to this memory thing, because as I'm watching Nvidia pull back, and I'm watching Broadcom go down, and I'm watching Microsoft, I'm noticing that this memory sector is not moving at the same lane. And so obviously we see Micron appreciate, and that even pulled back, but it was up over 200%. But Western Digital was up 260%. People kept putting in the chat, like, yo, this company, Troy, this company. I'm like, okay, great. So I'm studying Western Digital, and part of the research I see they have a spinoff. I said, there's a spinoff here, and it's called SanDisk. And I'm like, I've heard this name before, especially if you're in recording and you're doing photos or you're in music and you're using a hard drive, right? You know SanDisk. And then I look in February, they actually spun off and started to be publicly traded. And then I started looking at the chart. I'm like, oh man, this is something. And then I started to understand this, okay? Western Digital said, okay, we have the hard drive, right? And we have the flash drive. These are two different businesses that we can actually reap the benefits from. And so that actually went public in February. It's been going crazy. But I started to think about why. Why is this chart moving this way? Start studying even more. And then you realize, yes, memory is important. But Samsung said something 2 weeks ago that was even more important to hear. They said, we don't even have enough to fulfill the orders. And so if we don't have enough, it goes back to this. How do we get this going at the immediate time? Like, we need this. We can talk about energy and we need it immediately, right? We don't have time. We don't have 10 years to wait. How do we get it immediate? So now flash becomes a thing. SSD becomes a thing. And who's leading that? SanDisk.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you look at SanDisk, it was great. I was talking about this in Dubai. We were having dinners and I was talking about this. Even some of the people in the tech world didn't even know it was publicly traded. I'm like, no, there's something here, there's something here. Thursday in the class, we went over it. I said, these are the reasons why, breaking it down. Friday, we saw it tick up. I said, oh, this is perfect. Before it closed, I got to get into this position. Today, we watched SanDisk open up at 220. After the bell, huge announcement. Guess what just got added to the S&P 500?
This amazing company has been doing well even before they went public.
So now this company is now part of the S&P 500, which you know means that could now be added inside index funds and added to the investment portfolios of a bunch of people. But a company that just went public, technically went public in February of this year, but it's part of this AI ecosystem. Like the pulls and like we always talk about the levers and the pulleys and the shovels. These are those companies now. And so that body analogy, when I was talking about it after the class, I'm like, I should really just draw a diagram for it. And so I started thinking, all right, well, here's the heart, here are the veins, here are the valves. Who's going to be the brain of this? You could say that, you know, AMD or NVIDIA could be brain and heart. Start to think of it in terms of the body and how it runs and how it functions. And if anything goes wrong, right, then it won't function at its highest form. These are the type of things we got to look for, which is why we thought Celestica early in the year would be great, and it's performed outstanding, which is why we thought memory, like if we have a brain, we need memory, right? Like your brain is broken down into different components, and we know memory is part of that. You have to start thinking in that way. So these companies that are going to be essential and crucial if AI development is going to continue and flourish, which with all signs points that it will, you got to take advantage of them. So shout out to everybody that was in class and took advantage of it. I know we're probably up like 70% in like 24 hours or 48 hours. These are the type of those moments when you see opportunities, especially when we pulled back last week. It got up to 289. I saw it down at 186. Execute. And
it's a prime example of a classic company that is retooled. We talked about Google a lot, but this is another company that is retooled and recalibrated for the new economy that we're in. Gross profit margin is 27.9%. But this company has been well run even before it went publicly traded. And I love the adjustments that they've made to this economy. Unlike my baby Apple, who has not done the best. They are in that class that have done incredibly well at understanding how important they are now and will be over the next 4 or 5 years, as well as into like the quantum era as well. So great breakdown, great assessment. I agree 100%.
Yeah. You know, the deeper conversation is that, especially if you've been into photography or even what we're doing in terms of media, this company has been around you for years.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Hidden in plain sight.
I walked in here, I have a SanDisk drive sitting here.
Yeah.
Right? I have cards, 52, 256, 1 terabyte SanDisk card. I'm not even thinking in terms of memory, storage. Oh, wow. The signs have always been there. But when you start doing the research, it's like everything starts to come together. Oh, that's why I keep seeing this. That's why I keep seeing this. Here's what it's being used for. Here's how it's going to benefit from the AI revolution. Like I said, it's going to be monetized, and we're going to make sure that we're the ones monetizing from it.
For sure. So you see me on my phone. I'm working through some things in real time right now. Apparently, YouTube has 2 links that they just started a new feature where you can see a vertical and then you can see a horizontal.
Yeah, I
but
see that.
It's like splitting the audience. So on a chat, it's not showing, like everybody's not in the same chat.
Oh, really? Okay. So they have a mobile link and
In a desktop TV.
desktop
link,
TV.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That was happening. Okay. StreamYard's doing that. Okay.
StreamYard's doing it?
Yeah, StreamYard. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's good. Now we know. Yeah, because I see it over there and over here too. Okay.
But where's it?
It says here, hide vertical. Let's see. I'm going to click it. Let's see what happens. Looks the same? How's it now?
Let me see.
I see it the same.
Chat,
Chat, let me know.
how are you?
I do have a question. Which in a year, which companies that are AI adjacent will not do well because it's been discovered they aren't class A or class B as some are advertising?
That is a great question. I'll tell you the best way to figure this out. This is exactly what I've been doing, right? Because again, before I ever,
But before, let me just say something.
Yeah.
He's about to kill a vertical link. So if you're watching this and it's vertical and he kills it and you don't see it anymore, just come back on YouTube and watch it from the other one. So it's only gonna be one link on YouTube.
Gracias.
yeah. So before we ever talk to the community or we talk to market monitors, like I told you, I'm going to research the company probably 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes a couple months before we talk about it. We've been talking about this company for over a month. Like I said, we've had dinners. I know the question is going to be like, well, how do you know this is going to be? The first thing I do, who are its hyperscale partners?
It matters.
It's the first thing I look at because I know if HyperX scalers, the Metas of the world, the Googles of the world, the Amazons, the Microsofts, the Apples, if they're involved, I know the CapEx spend is going to be there.
And if they have priority, because some of them are reporting and acting as if they have deeper partnership with Nvidia, Meta, and it's like,
exactly. So the key is now, if it's just one, I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
If I see 3, oh, I know something's here. If I see 4, this is I'm pretty confident in this. And so a lot of times I'll look and it'll be the same hyperscalers. And then when I watch those hyperscalers report, I'm always listening. That's why we always talk about CapEx. Has the CapEx going down? Has Meta said we're going to spend less? No, they said they're going to spend more. Today, Amazon announced that they're spending an additional $50 billion. CapEx is still going, right? So these pieces that no one talks about, like we can talk about the large scale things, and we can talk about GPUs, and we can talk about the racks, and we can talk about liquid cooling. But these other pieces that make this engine go are going to be vitally important. And if those CapEx numbers are being spent from the hyperscalers, then we got to follow the money. Just follow the money.
And look at the partnership. Meta and Google are now working on TPU integration together, which is really important because my biggest fear in the Nvidia trade is Huawei and DeepSeek working together in tandem. Because Huawei isn't publicly traded, DeepSeek is still private, so they don't have to report everything that's going on. So I do love seeing Meta, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple and Google working together because the big monster that we have to defeat is China beating us to this race.
Yeah.
But look at the partnership layers as well. And if people are not integrated into the ecosystem, they're not going to be. I know there's a lot of reports of this company, this AI company is going to be the next 100 bagger. There's not many of them out there. I promise you. I promise you.
I like the TPU talk. You want to go there? You want to go there?
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. While we let everybody get back in there, hit the like button and share. Yeah, let's talk about that. Obviously, Google has had a big day today.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that as far as what's next on the horizon.
I think Google is one of the best run companies in history, and at a time where they were about to be counted out, you can argue right now Google's the best AI company in the United States of America. It's one of. You can argue.
Okay.
You can argue it.
Yes.
From a
Yes.
because in business we can be very, let's just talk like it's just us.
All right, let's do it.
And they had to do it, but when Nvidia became the darling, every other company or the big 12 in tech retooled their business to then take a piece of their business and market share. Apple's now working on their own version of that now. Google, of course, because the thought is, okay, I can either let you cannibalize my business, or I can make Gemini so amazing that it cannibalizes the business itself. But now there's even ads starting to be integrated into Gemini. So I've always said since the beginning of the show, the companies with the most money are going to find a way to lead the revolution in the next technology. They're not going to get left behind. And as soon as Sam had his mistake and kerfuffle with Brad Gerstner, look how quickly other companies are encroaching and getting better at a time. And you can make the argument that Anthropic's doing better than OpenAI in terms of deliverables in the LLM. So, but the partnership is for securing the future. And once again, when Meta fell a bunch after earnings, I'm like, they're making the right investments at the right time. I think it was mistimed how much they dropped. And I think the stock will go up a lot as a result. But in times of crisis and economic crunches, you're going to see the top players work with each other. 10 years ago, it was Apple and Google for the search engine. Now it's Apple and Google for AI. But this Meta and Google partnership, I think is going to do incredibly well for both companies. But of course, Google has the lead as of today.
Google is amazing. I'm agreeing with you with that. I think you touched on something really important. I'm going to go back to it. A year ago, and if we think about what we were saying about OpenAI and how they looked at Google, almost in a mocking fashion,
yes,
it was almost like, "Hey, you guys will never catch us."
And can we really quick? Can we talk how big of a mistake that is?
A huge one.
Why are you throwing a rock at a sleeping giant?
Yeah, and so it got me thinking, right? And I still think of it, obviously, NVIDIA, you could make the argument, right? In terms of performance and what they're putting out, yes, the performance is superior. I think the smartest move they did, and we watched this move happen with Broadcom, and we kind of talked about it when they said, look, you can have the GPU market. Not
take it. Yep.
It's yours. You're so dominant in it, have it. AMD has said, all right, we'll be number 2. We'll take some of the market share. That it looks like it's working out for them, right? There wasn't going to be a number 3, so they said we're not doing GPUs, we'll do the XPU. I think while this is happening, Google says we'll rely on you for now, but we've got to create something that we can internally do, and we can internally rely upon, and that's the TPU. So that's the tensor processing unit. So if you've heard TPU over the past couple of days, that's why. Why is it important? Because it makes them self-reliant. They won't need NVIDIA at the same level they once did. Why did we see another company run up? That company being named Broadcom is because Broadcom can help design that TPU. For them, right? Yep. Which is why when they said XPU, look, that means we'll make any GPU for anyone. Yep. We'll help you make this. And so we watched Broadcom rise, right? They were up 10% today. Google was leading the charge up, I think like 9%. Those two companies were starting to move. NVIDIA hasn't moved at the same level, right? It had its earnings. And I heard, shout out to Josh Brown, he said something very interesting. He's like, NVIDIA at this point is like Jordan in 96, comparing himself to what he did in 95. Yeah, you're the champion, you're the best player.
But you're like, so exceptional.
It's so exceptional. Like
you're not going to have an exponential growth from where you are.
Yeah, Karl Malone's the MVP. You know what I'm saying? You're that, but we know who the best player is. The TPU thing is important because number one, it's cheaper. It's faster. But right now, and I'm just saying right now, it's really designed just for Google Cloud products.
Which is smart because it keeps the ecosystem inside. And from a branding lesson, going back to Blue Ocean strategy, I love companies when they create a market that they have a dominant share in.
Right. So now it says to me, okay, if Google does it. Amazon will be next,
Mm-hmm.
right? Microsoft is already there with OpenAI. And so does that take some business away from NVIDIA?
The
Yes,
chips,
some,
it will take
some,
some away
some.
until
That's
Ultra.
where I'm going.
See,
So I'm going there, right? And so,
Mhm.
so here's something to count. You can't. So right now, the TPUs that Google makes, and it's phenomenal, and we can see the results of some of the products that they put out. It can't do general purpose workloads like GPUs do. And again, it's mostly for Google Cloud. That's the knock, right? So it works on Google internal AI and Google Cloud workloads. Great. Obviously,
GPGs
GPUs are
yeah.
for AI training, does inference, and it's more accessible, right? You can use that on different type of workloads. So that's just in that market, right? We're talking about large language models. But where is the next $1 trillion industry?
Quantum.
And robotics.
Mm-hmm.
Robotics.
Mm-hmm.
So then you start putting the pieces together. Who did we see Jensen sitting with last week? Yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy who told us that money will be irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
When you start seeing these signs, you start to put the pieces together. He's sitting next to the guy who's going to be integral in that robotic space. He's sitting next to the guy who's already integral in the EV space. Those products and those sectors are going to need GPUs. And so, yeah, it might lose some from the Googles when they do CPUs, TPUs, but you got a whole sector of robotics and EVs that they are still going to be the king of. And when we went to GTC, what's the last thing he brought on stage?
Yeah.
A little robot.
Like a cute ass robot come out on stage, interacting with him.
Then we went into the assembly hall. It was the robot that was cleaning your kitchen and taking your food out the oven.
Yep. Right? Putting groceries away. Yeah.
Putting the groceries away. Right. GTC happened in DC a few weeks ago. Robotics again. Why is he talking about that? He's talking about it for a reason. He knows that's where the pivot is going to be. If we lose some of this market share, we're about to go dominate that one. So everybody, the Nvidia trainers, no, it's not going anywhere.
And even their moat, as you've highlighted, the moat Nvidia has, because people ask me all this, well, people are encroaching on the territory. How would they defend it? They would defend it by being in partnership with everyone who's encroaching. So I'll give you part of this business in lieu of national interest, but these other markets stay away from. And it's lining up perfectly that way.
And it's not. And so last week we were talking about what this run isn't over, right? It's not just about the product. Now it's about the region, right? So they're in South Korea. Now they're in UAE. But lo and behold, wait, there's a press conference for an AI. Wait, hold on. There's talks that China might come back into the fold. China might come back into the fold. Allegedly, a $50 billion opportunity may come back into the fold.
Well, we're gonna talk about the China thing and Trump later on. I wanna do this. I want to have a brief segue into something, and we're gonna have another conversation. But I put that rent is up over 150% since 2000. The average new car jumped from 16,000 in 1990 to 48,000 today.
That's insane.
That's a 3x in one generation. College tuition is up more than 750% since the 1980s. So the thing about it is that when I worded it was that it's only getting worse. By the time you finally make more money, it's worth half of what it used to be. Nothing is more expensive than not having enough. You can't save your way or work your way out of the rat race. Investing in business are the only real exits. The reason why I say that is because I'm going to talk about the options class, and I'm going to talk about Red Panda. I want to talk about Red Panda first because Ian, when we had the Eli Lilly on Market Mondays, and this is free information, anybody can take advantage of it. Me personally, you know, is one of these things, like the timing that you put money into things. That's the thing with Red Panda. It's the time that you put money in. And he was like, yeah, Eli Lilly, it looks like, you know, it's around that time. And you know, I just put money. I didn't buy an option. I just put money in the stock, right? And to be fully transparent, I put $100,000 into the stock, and I'm up 57%. Man, so that's just a quick 50 ball. But the reality of it
Quick
is that
50 for the free.
yeah, and the reality of it is that's why the information can change your whole situation because you know, growing up, $50,000 was a good salary.
Absolutely. In 1996, 98, what?
I started teaching in 2008. My salary was $53,000.
50 grand a year was getting it done.
Yeah. So that, and then with the options, you know, I've done multiple different options that Troy has recommended, whether it's MU, whether it's TSM, Nvidia a few times, and multiple options that have gotten over, you know, 300%. So when you have, like, when we saying that the car price is 3x'd, how do you fight that? By 3x'ing your money, right? And that's the whole point of why the information is so vitally important, because it's something that you only are going to win this game if you find ways to multiply your money.
It's not an option.
In the most optimal way possible. So buying low is an optimal way of utilizing, of multiplying your money, right, Panda? Learning how to trade efficiently is another way that you can, you know, optimize your portfolio, take a portion of it, not the whole thing, but take a portion of it and you know, have some level of exposure to that. But you got to know what you're doing. So, you know, that's important. So kudos to you guys, because
Love.
definitely, you know, it's one of these things that's a game changer, not just in our community, but anybody that's interested in you know, furthering their financial portfolio.
And here's the great part about that. If you went to a fund manager, shout out to all the great fund managers out there, but you would have had to give up to minimum 20%. And in a more aggressive established fund, 30% of that to whoever you partner with.
Oh, absolutely.
I made you money. Please put yes in chat. All I want is a Godspeed t-shirt for Christmas, my brother.
So having said that, you know, we're gonna do something once again that we've the Black Friday. Yes, the time has come. So, you know, how I like to look at it, Market Mondays is free for everybody, and it's always gonna be like that for now, for the foreseeable future. So you can
For now.
you can just get all your, you can get all your information. But we doing something for a very limited slot. We opened up 50 slots for this. And you'll understand why it's 50 by the time I said it. This isn't for everybody, but this is for a few, select few. So we're gonna do lifetime access to Red Panda.
Are we?
Did we misread that? We spoke about this.
Okay. Text.
Where you get all of the stock information, where you get the right prices to buy. We're gonna do lifetime access to EYL University, choice options class, the communities, home buyers, blueprint, financial planning calls, the whole gambit. VIP tickets to InvestFest 2026, InvestFest Legendary. This is the 6th year. Oh, InvestFest. You thought it was over. It's reloaded. It's reloaded, actually.
Winner.
VIP tickets to InvestFest 2026. We are doing an in-person mastermind. We are doing an in-person mastermind. We don't do Market Mondays events anymore. So once a year, we do this in-person mastermind. We're doing an in-person mastermind. We're going to bring our friend, the queen of AI. She actually killed the InvestFest stage. And she's going to talk about AI, and then we're going to talk about trading. We're going to talk about investing. We're going to do in-person mastermind. The in-person mastermind is in Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
In-person mastermind is in Capitol Hill.
For those not in the know.
Then we will take an exclusive tour of Capitol Hill. First-hand access, congressmen, senators, all of the political friends that we know.
You mean the AI decision makers?
We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be Nancy Pelosi.
I need Auntie before we leave, though.
Margie Taylor Greene came into Congress with 750,000. 4 years later, exited with 225 million.
Fact.
That's
a fact.
It's certain things, but the last thing that we're gonna do
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, baby.
We taking a tour of Nvidia.
My baby. We back.
We taking a tour of Nvidia.
Nah. Let that really sink in. Let that sink in for a sec.
We are bringing the gang
To headquarters.
To headquarters.
To headquarters.
Yes.
We're gonna be talking to high-level executives. We're taking a tour. We're looking at the new tech coming down the pipeline. We are going to Nvidia. We talk about Nvidia all the time. Nvidia is the largest company in the history of the world. Nvidia is the largest company in the history of mankind. Very rare opportunity. And we gonna go to Nvidia.
Get to ask your questions up close and personal. Get to see the culture, what they're working on, the racks. Hopefully, Blackwell.
Keys do open doors.
Keys open doors.
Doors.
And information and relationships changed my life.
Yeah,
for sure.
What else can we do? I mean, I don't know what else we can do. We're gonna give you InvestFest, legendary.
Yeah.
Capitol Hill, politicians, crazy. Red Panda Lifetime, EY University Lifetime, in-person mastermind. And then we're gonna go to Nvidia. Now, if you can't make it to the in-person mastermind, don't worry. You will get the recording. If you can't make it to Nvidia, don't worry. You will get the recording. But it's 50 slots only, but only the first 40 can go to Nvidia because that's a extremely limited situation.
Yes.
So it's 50 slots for the whole entire thing. The first 40 people will get the Nvidia offer. How do you know if the Nvidia offer is still valid? If you still see it on the website, it's still valid. If you no longer see the Nvidia offer on the website, that means that it's no longer valid.
Yeah, I would
50
imagine.
people, that's what we're doing. Go to marketmondaysdeal.com. Market Mondays with an S, marketmondaysdeal.com. 50 slots only.
And one of the best questions you can ask for anyone that you meet at Nvidia who works there, how long have you been invested in the stock? You're going to see some correlations that they know in that ecosystem about hold times that have made a bunch of people millionaires and billionaires. It's one of the most fascinating corporate environments I've been in terms of how they work, but how knowledgeable everyone is in investing in an investing schedule.
Yeah.
It felt like talking to fund managers, to every employee that we talk to.
It's interesting. Like we talk about our visit in March and how much that's meant to us, just from an internal standpoint. But what that has allowed us to do is actually teach and get more in-depth research to now give back to the community. So that now the community gets to see it. And I just want to give a huge shout out to our partners over at NVIDIA. They have been extremely gracious, extremely excited. They love the work that we're doing, which is why they invited us. And they said, like, what else can we do? How can we be even more meaningful to the community? And we said we got some ideas. So this is going to be. I'm excited for everybody. I'm excited myself to be there. You never stop learning. As a lifelong learner, you can't pass up the opportunities to learn, and this is definitely going to be one.
And the thing about it is too was like I was telling them, like, I told Troy, I'm like, look, this don't really make sense because you sometimes in life you do too much, and then you gotta hold things for other, like, we utilizing a lot of
relationship capital.
Yeah, we're utilizing a lot of resources and relationship capital here.
In fact, this is a real conversation. I'm like, gotta do it.
All right, well,
we gotta do it.
It is what it is, man. See you on the other side.
You got the text, Shotty.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And second most important question: which companies in the Valley have the most promise over the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, that's the next thing I want to go to. So, all right. So that's the deal. First 50, first come, first serve. See you guys.
Yeah, we'll see you there
in DC. And once again, if you can't make it, don't worry. We're gonna give you the video because I know it's a lot to travel and do that. So even if you can't make it, you'll still be there. You'll still get the exclusive access conversation and all that. which actually might be better as
Yeah.
far as, from a logistics standpoint. Because like I said, you do have to, travel, get hotel and all of that. So
Yeah.
even if you can't make it, you're still going to be there.
Yeah, and those conversations are so important because, like I said, when you think of the company, you think GPU, but those GPUs go into so many different sectors, whether it's education or it's defense tech or it's finance. There's just so many sectors that these GPUs touch. And so there's experts from all of those sectors
all over.
that are like willing to say, hey, nobody's ever asked me what I do. I would love to tell you. So yeah, life changing.
Yeah.
It's actually a great idea. And
Brilliant idea.
everybody can't do it. Like that's why it's like when the Invest Fest, when we going, we brought Magic Johnson and Tyler Perry. It's like people can't do what we do, man.
Yeah. You know what? You know what's
they really can't.
It's crazy when you
They
go
really
to like they do this like Silicon Valley tour and you look it up. Like the first attraction is you get to drive by the building.
Like you can't go in.
No, you can't. You could drive by. Like look at the architecture. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
They really can't.
Different level.
Let's talk about the next wave of opportunity. As far as I put a video in the group chat the other day.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, the video, it was interesting because we had talked about this maybe a month ago when you're like, everybody's talking AI, and they're talking GPUs, and that's great. But none of this works without power. Right. And we've talked about who could lead in this space or where the space is headed. And yeah, long term, we know the solutions, but we don't have a long term idea here, right? This needs to be immediate, especially if, like we said, this is a national security issue. And so you start thinking short term. Who could be the short term people who can actually benefit from it? We've seen Caterpillar when we were talking about gas turbines, and it was like, yeah. So there's a near term solution in terms of natural gas turbines. The company that I've been studying, and I think has a great lead in it, and you guys can let me know what you think. Is going to be GE Vernova. So GE, right? This is another one of these companies that was part of GE, split off, and now has become its own company. And the reason is because of those gas turbines. Right now, or 2024, we'll see what the 2025 numbers are. They captured 34% of the global gas turbine market. 34% last year. That number is going to increase as we see more AI data centers put online. Right, we don't have nuclear reactors to fulfill the power that's needed. We don't have solar. We don't have it yet. What we do have is gas turbines, and they're doing that. Why did I like it though? Right, outside of that market share that they're dominating in, and I'll give you a power. That's almost 106 megawatts, right, or over 20,000 megawatts in orders for 2025. Who are their partners? Amazon, AWS. Who else on the U.S. grid? Duke Energy. Who else in renewable energy? Next Era Energy. Who else in developing engine? Chevron. You might have heard of them, right? This is the real reason, though. Not only is this a domestic thing, if you look at their international partnerships, you start to see a picture that's being painted, right? These data centers are not just going to be in America, although we would like them to be. They're being built all over, right? The number one thing that I loved was I saw that the GE Saudi Advanced Turbines, they've partnered with them. And so why does that make sense to me? Well, in May, we watched a conglomerate of our most brilliant minds in the world of business and AI go to Saudi. Why did they go? They went to go announce infrastructure in AI. They're starting to build that infrastructure. They also don't have the time. So if I start seeing American companies partnering with Saudi companies to provide energy, that tells me there's something there and something you can build on. Now, GEV is a big boy heavyweight. If you're in EYL, you know what that means, right? These are companies that have large options contracts. And so we looked inside the ETFs that have them, and we put a few out there. FPX is one of those that actually has pulled back a little bit. But energy is going to be a story. And I think GEV is going to be the one that is going to be leading that story here in the very near future, but definitely long term as well.
And I want to say once again, all energy companies are not created equal. I'm seeing it in this space too. There's a lot of startup or new IPO energy companies that are trying to position themselves. I want to be very clear. That's a winner. Nextera has been one of my favorites. It's been in Stock Club forever. But can we round out what you think the big four would be in terms of energy so people don't invest in maybe the 13th best energy company? Duke is a legacy company. I think that that's going to benefit as well.
This is one that we actually covered in our last mastermind, and somebody actually put in the chat, maybe it was there. I had Vistra Energy is there as well.
Yep.
Vistra is one of my favorites.
That's a great four.
I think Constellation will have a say in this as well. Obviously, when we start talking about their partnerships with Microsoft, I think Constellation plays a role in this. GEV plays a role. I knew it. This is a very smart audience. I knew somebody was going to put OKLO. Yes, they had a nice pullback. If I'm picking my four, I would probably pick those four, and then I would have as an asterisk, I would put OKLO just because, as a fifth, just because I understand the story. I understand nuclear and how that's going to be powering us at a more efficient level. Short term, though, what's going to be the solution? And so that's why I think GEV is going to be the leader here. But yeah, that's a solid four. And again, if you can't decide on, hey, this one's a little bit too much, I've said it before. XLU Spider's energy ETF is just a solid place. And if you want to go look at some of those companies, go look at the top 2 or 3 or 4 in there. We've probably said them already, but look at the top 2 or 3 and 4 in there, because again, if we're looking at the body, right? If this is a body, you need fuel, right? In order for you to work. These data centers are going to need power, or none of this works. All those companies, the GPUs, the connectivity, none of it works if it doesn't have power.
And once again, in your investment journey, you only need 4 to 6 great stocks. Some of you can over-index and having 16 and 20, and you now have decay in your portfolio from having too much and not investing enough capital into the ones that are going to move. So I know it's exciting to hear about all of these, but you really only need 4 to 6 long term. But out of the energy list, I want you to pick tonight which one are the one you're going to focus on.
Okay. So let's talk about this, Ian. And then also one thing I forgot to mention, if the Nvidia thing fills up and that's no longer available, even if that offer is taken off the table, if you sign up, you will get the video from Nvidia. So if you miss the Nvidia offer because it's just you missed that limit, you will get the video regardless.
That's amazing. Yeah.
They said, what's my four? I had Constellation, I had Vistra, I had GEV, and I'll put Nextera there for now. Them and Duke, and then OKLO. We're going to keep our eye on. That's going to be in our watch list. That's going to be definitely it's in the watch list now.
Yeah, for me, Nextera, Duke, GEV are the 3 that I like and love a lot.
Ian, Bitcoin. So is this the time to get into Bitcoin? Are we looking at, overbought situation? It had a bounce back, which isn't uncommon for bears. Historical, what it has done. I said even last week it could go up to 100 even potentially. But what do you see? What's your thoughts on the current state of Bitcoin?
From a technical analysis standpoint, I think when we got to that 80,009, range, I think we probably are looking at the second best entry for the year. I think the first best, as most things were in April. I think we'll get a little bounce. Now, long term, am I still concerned about a pullback? Am I concerned about Sailor and MicroStrategy? Yes, but I think the price ratio or risk to reward ratio is so high at this level, it's almost hard for most institutions to turn down. Like if we look back in April, it got down to like 74. We got down to 80,747 last week. So that was a really good buying zone. I think 127 still is the top for the year, but I think we are in a buy zone from a technical analysis standpoint that is almost too hard to turn down. Is that a low to boat price? No, we kind of hinted at what the low to boat price would be last week, but I do think if you're looking to make an entry into Bitcoin, these levels are pretty good. Anywhere from that 82,000 level to 84,000 is a good zone to be buying.
Good old Bitcoin.
Okay. What about MicroStrategy?
What about it? Financial conspirator. It's your time to be in the comments.
Yeah, shout. I mean,
shout to you. Shout to my guy.
We had the conversation last week. Shout out to everybody that was in the comments, giving us all the facts about MicroStrategy. It is again, it doesn't move at the same rate of appreciation or depreciation as Bitcoin. So as we saw Bitcoin tick up a little bit today, strategy didn't do the same.
Mm-hmm. I want to be clear. He's under attack.
Okay. Okay.
And it reminds me a lot of Kathy. I think some of the reports of the timetable in which he'll get liquidated, like Michael's a fighter, so he's not going to go down without a fight. I do feel as though the banks have coordinated an attack against him because they want the position that he's in, and the institutions don't want a person who is not in their ecosystem to be the face of a global asset that they need to stop the unraveling of the losses that are sitting on their books. The banks have been sitting on losses for 3 years. And if we're going to be very honest, without inflation and a circular investment, we've been in a recession for 4 years. So is he under attack? Yes. Do I think he can weather the storm? I think so. Is it time to sell? I wouldn't say yet if you believe in him, but I do see a world where MicroStrategy probably could fall to maybe worst case scenario, maybe like $96.34 or 116.26. That would be like the levels I would personally like to get in a MicroStrategy. But if it gets to 50,000, they'll have to liquidate. It's a lot more complicated than that. I think when you have an asset that is so valuable to the global economy, the international banking institutions and funds may not like you being the face of that. 2 or 3 years ago, we would not see Larry Fink or Jamie talk their book of crypto or tokenization. Now it's one of the lead. They won't even speak of the fucking bond market no more. I haven't seen a fund manager in 2 years mention allocation into the bond market. It got replaced by Kathy's and Jack's and Michael's strategy. So I think he has a storm to weather. I hope he makes it through. But from a price basis, I think it can go lower. But I think there's value there. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's obvious value. And based on the charts, it's tough. This is such a tough one. This isn't like any other company, right? Because we know exactly what it's tied to, and we know that it doesn't move at the same rate. But it almost becomes, if we're not at the floor, how far are we away from it?
I don't want to say worst case scenario because I don't want to come off sensational, but
yeah, because if we say worst case scenario, then it almost makes it correlate to now a new prediction for Bitcoin, right? Because if we say
they're not a 1-for-1 pairing if he's under attack, though.
So then then it's like contradictory, right? If it's not a 1-to-1 pairing, then what are we investing in?
The same as when you're investing in Musk and Tesla, you're investing into his brilliance.
Right. The idea.
It's solely on his brilliance. Because if so, okay, if Bitcoin and the market are almost 1-for-1 now, and MicroStrategy isn't 1-for-1 for Bitcoin, that tells you in itself the collusion.
It's tough. It's tough, and I don't think it's just a tough, like a Market Monday's tough. Like I watch experts talk about this company, and they don't really understand what to do or what to say about it because of all the things that we're kind of mentioning. So I mean, we're in the right space with the level of I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure.
You got to obey price laws, though. If you bought it at too high of a price, my rule of thumb is 20-25% cut and then re-enter if you believe in the company. If you're above a 25% loss, you either have to average in or wait for a better price. But this is why the main reason, like I like buying the asset directly. But I do think if anyone can overcome some of these challenges, it's Mike. But we've seen this before with Kathy and others and Jack at Square. Jack's fall of Square was, no, he won't say it because he's smart. That was a direct competitive thing with the banking institutions. Legendary guest at InvestFest gave a lot of brilliant insights. So you just have to understand that if it's not directly through, and this is why like the investment into Vanguard or Invesco or BlackRock is so important, that institution in itself is a moat. They are the program. So
that's a fact. Okay. Let's take a question from the audience. And you guys can put questions in there, but this is one that was already asked as far as the American dream. So he said, if I'm 33 years old and finally put away the dream of owning a home, what should my new American dream be for my family and I? And I would say this as far as the American dream, I don't think that you should just put away owning a home. I just think that, maybe it's not the same way that you envisioned it as far as, but we said that one of the first episodes when MG was like, your first home should be a multifamily. It's an investment. Look at that. Take that route first. So I wouldn't necessarily just throw it away. I know it's the home market is very high right now, costs a lot of money. And, it could be discouraging from a standpoint of, that it's not necessarily an asset right away because you're not making any money from it. But if you do buy real estate correctly, it could still be valuable as far as, especially the multifamily play where you actually could potentially be living for free if you have enough rent to cover it, and then you're actually making money while you're still living, right? So that's a win-win situation. But real estate is never a bad thing. It's just like all things, you have to do it correctly. But I think the American dream is financial freedom by all means. So I think investing, keeping your expenses low, making sure that you invest as much money as possible, really getting into entrepreneurship and understanding what business is going to work for you from a standpoint of viability. We talk about a variety of different things when it comes to business, but you got to have multiple streams of income. That's important. You got to start low cost business. That's important. You got to start scalable businesses. That's important. But the business aspect should never be lost as far as the American dream, because that's what America was really built on, is business. But investing for sure, as much money as you possibly can, as often as you possibly can. And if that means that you have to rent an apartment, then that's okay too. You have your business, you put an office in there and, work with your accountant and write some of that off on your taxes. But make sure you take advantage of the tax code. That's important for sure. So I think it's about achieving financial freedom and freedom, period, by all means necessary, and mapping out what your goal looks like. That might take 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, whatever, however long it could take, 30 years, who knows? But to me, that's the real standpoint as far as the American dream. Because if not, I think the alternative is the American nightmare, and that's what most people is trapped in, unfortunately. Where it's like, you just on the hamster wheel and you're working to pay bills and you never have enough money to save, and that's not a recipe to be free.
Troy, you?
I think Chai touched on it. I think the family part is interesting. Like, that's what you're thinking about. What does freedom look like? I think it might be different. I had this conversation over the weekend with a few friends of mine about what freedom looks like. I think people let security get in the way of what they think freedom is, right? Like, I won't do this because it's not enough. I had this question I used to ask to my coworkers: if I gave you $1 million today, would you stop working today? And they say, no, it's not enough money. And then the next question I'm asking them, and this is teachers I'm talking about, I'm like, well, how long would it take you to gross $1 million? And they say 16. I'm like, it takes 16 years, right? If you work in New York State, you make $100,000 a year, that's $67,000 a year. 16 years gets you to $1 million if you don't spend $1. I'm like, what I'm talking about is not money. I'm talking about time. I'm giving you back time. What you can do in 16 years, you have no idea, right? But the security will block you. And so what I really said is, I'm giving you freedom, right? I'm giving you freedom. And I think what they should plan for is what that looks like for themselves and their family, and not just this generation, but the next one and then the one after that. Because, and I think, we say it all the time here, is that we plan for the next year or the next 5, in different communities, they're paying for the next 100.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to have sustainable methods to create sustainable wealth for generations. And so having a conversation around freedom is important, but what does it look like? Because it's going to look different to every family. And that's fine. But just having a conversation is important.
I want to say the American dream and the idea of the construction of the American dream was created by bankers for the benefit of banking families. It's always been a nightmare. The goal has to be free and clear and to be multinational, because it's what every company's doing. Don't look to me. See what the other funds and the top companies on earth are doing. Buffett has a good model, despite what the PR perception of him. He was one of the first investors that was really big on investing into other countries and living in other countries as a hedge in case if things did not go well here. So to be free and clear, you still need a place to stay. So if you can get a great deal on something to, you need a home, of course. But I think for this era, it would be remiss if I wouldn't tell you, you have to find another country to set your sights on as a hedge in case if things don't go incredibly well here.
Amen.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely got to have an exit plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. Somebody had a good idea. They said we should have a stock ticker at the bottom of the show. Mike, can we work on that next week? Can we have that implemented next week? One of the things about success is that you got to move very quickly. And procrastination is 19 Keys says something. I don't know if I can say it on this thing because I don't want to get censored, but procrastination kills great ideas. Let's just say that.
For sure.
So when you're starting your business, make sure that you move swiftly and quickly. So this is something that we're going to implement by hook or crook. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we got
not by crook though.
It's
by hook or AI. I know, but
we're going to do this. We got a comment in the chat, and it was a good comment. I appreciate the feedback
for sure.
And I think that it would be a good addition to the show. So next week we will have a stock ticker on the bottom of the screen. And like I said, I don't know how we're going to have that.
Yeah.
But when there's a will, there's a way.
And can we get a fire header up top opposed to the lower thirds too?
For sure.
Yeah. And speaking of acting fast, if you want to win $50,000 to be crowned trading champion, join the Red Panda Trading Tournament.
Yes.
Here's how it works. It starts December 8th through the 12th. The first round is practice. So whoever has the most ticks win. December 15th, we'll start the live trading. And whoever makes the most money over the course of a week will be given $50,000 from me in combination with Ninja Trader. So if you've been looking for a breakthrough, you need a financial breakthrough, this is your chance. Take the trade, step into the arena, and let me pay you. So for everyone who's been asking me about the trading tournament, it gets started December 8th. But you can go to the link in my bio to join. It's absolutely free. And then maybe we can put it in the show notes as well. But for everyone who's been asking me about trading, to the brother who has 13 laptops in his house, I want you to
17
the tournament. But yeah, kudos to Ninja Trader. We've been working on this for a while. And as my way to give back, I want to be able to bless you, those who have been incredibly disciplined. So anybody in Red Panda, it is mandatory that you join. But to the public, if you want to join, go to arena.ninjatrader.com or the link in my bio. And I'll see you guys on December 8th.
So how much you get if you win?
50,000.
And so what's the details? Like what do they what's it entail? Explain it.
They're trading a few things. So you'll be trading ES, NASDAQ, CB, UB, and micros. So it's for trading futures. You have 5-day window to compete. We'll have an actual leaderboard. So the winner of the first round and second round, I want to bring them here on the show to talk to them about trading.
Okay.
And then I'll mentor the winner as well for 6 months as well, to how to take that 50 and turn it into 250 or 500 as well. So
not bad.
It's my give back for the year. Love y'all dearly.
Fire.
Are they trading paper trading?
First round, then second round, all live trading.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is free.
Absolutely free.
All right. All right.
Oh, may the best person win.
For
good
sure.
Luck. Good luck in the
Good
game.
luck to you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
So they
fine.
got to enter by. It starts on the 8th of December. And they can enter any point from now till
To the 8th.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Might have to use a decoy name in there.
I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I had a few people hit me like, yo, can I sign up? If you're new, whether you're a brand new beginner or you've been in Alpha or Apex, everyone's welcome to join, because it really comes down to discipline. And I want to say this from an advantageous standpoint. Don't think about what everyone else is going to do. 20% of people are going to be so excited about being number one in leaderboard, they're going to take too many trades. And 20% of people are going to make a mistake and get blown out. Trading is a game of patience. Now you get to test it in a live format. And I'll see you guys December 8th. I can't wait. And then when we get to the live trading, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's fire.
A lot of fun.
Link in your bio, right?
Yep. Link in my bio.
Fire.
All right.
That's dope.
All right.
Congrats. And partnership too. You said Ninja Trader. Shout out to the partnership. That's dope. That's really dope, man. Congrats.
Another great lesson in just giving first in advance. When I first did Sniper, led tens of thousands of people to Ninja, no compensation, just because I love the platform. So for now, 4 years later, to come back and do this is going to be a lot of fun, and stay tuned in 2026.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
Balance everything.
Yep.
The geopolitical tension between China, Japan, and Taiwan.
Oh boy.
Escalating.
My brother.
It's escalating.
Well, why can't we all just get along?
Right.
I wish.
Too much money on the line.
And that's the truth. And this is another reason why American companies have to work together, because China is such a well-oiled machine right now. We can't afford to lose to them. And they, of course, we already talked about how they feel about Taiwan is theirs. Anyway, and with this carry trade and the Japanese bond market going crazy, it's an interesting time for China and Japan to have words with each other as well.
Yeah, Japan is a country that's been very neutral and kind of friendly to China for a long time. Now, they were once mortal enemies, but now the new prime minister was the first female prime minister of Japan ever, taking a more aggressive approach to the regime in Beijing. And I don't know if that's the best way to go about it.
That's not the best way when you have no power.
Well, they have allies. America.
Yeah. They announced a pledge to $500 billion and to invest in American infrastructure. That's an ally.
This reminds me when J. Cole drugged Drake into that battle and then backed out. Japan, that's cool to have an ally. But if Japan backs away and now you're in war with China, what you gonna do?
Can we just all get along?
DeepSeek caused our markets to drop, 13%? They're not publicly traded. Right. I just said Huawei and DeepSeek in partnership. That's a Voltron we may not be able to beat. Now is not the time for. We've been in a forever war. How many years has America not been in war?
In the history of the country?
In the history of the what 30 years? 28 years, something like that. We can't afford this. And from a technological standpoint, we can't afford it right now. Like you said, inflation is the way it's creeped up. We've had to print money. Like we're begging for rate cuts that we're not going to get. Now's not the time. We survived COVID. 2022 came. They changed the numbers to not have it actually reflect a recession. Now we're in this geopolitical war against China and BRICS. Now's not the time. You can only go to war when you have your money and your strategy together. We don't have our strategy together.
Do you think, because China still doesn't have the compute, or maybe you think they do, I'm not sure, but there's still conversations, right? Which is why Trump is still having conversations with Xi about what they're going to do with GPUs, whether Nvidia will be able to sell to them. Do you think they're at that level of compute of the AMDs and the Nvidias of the world? DeepSeek, we knew, they said that they did.
That was a farce.
That was a farce. Alibaba is trying to get in the space of and People don't talk about them enough in terms of AI cloud. And I know when I bring up AI cloud, I talk about AWS and Google and Microsoft, and then Oracle was number 4. But on the global scale, Alibaba is actually number 4, and Oracle would have been number 5. They're getting into the AI space in terms of GPUs. I just don't know if China has it yet. Will they get it eventually? I don't know if it has the technology for the GPUs that is needed to surpass us, which is why it's still a negotiation, right? I think there's leverage here, and we talked about those rare earth minerals. Like, they have the leverage there. I think GPUs and AI still kind of are leveraged from American company dominance. I just don't know if they're there. Do you feel like that we're at that place where China is, all right?
Not yet, but they're close. DeepSeek, being a non-publicly traded company, had a tremendous 94% of the companies in the S&P 500 are underperforming the index. So if DeepSeek drug our market down, and I mentioned Huawei in combination with DeepSeek being a threat, which no one talks about it, but Huawei is a better tech company than majority of American tech companies now. China comes from the class you come from, Rashad. I'm not going to tell you how to bomb until I drop it on your building. They're not going to even hint that they have an edge or a lead. And even DeepSeek front running that, I think that was a mistake. That's why they've been kind of quiet after. Are they there now? No. But could they be very soon? Jensen said.
And so when he said it, I felt like that was
a signal
charge, right? Like, he's trying to make sure that they get these chips. But one of the things that we said with DeepSeek, and we've seen it with infrastructure, especially in Chinese infrastructure and some of the things they've done, is that faster doesn't always equate to better.
True.
And faster usually equates to mistakes being made.
I agree 1,000%. But we're not in a position okay, if we go to war, we have Meta, Nvidia, AMD, Google, Amazon, and who else?
You said Meta?
Of course.
Do we need more?
And in the history of American capitalism, because the SPY business and corporate is a really big business nobody talks about. Do we think in a capitalistic society that China can't get to one of our executives to help them mastermind a double cross?
Oh, of course. That can happen. No, for sure.
For little or no money.
But think about this. You got, so out of those companies you named, right? Meta doesn't operate in China.
Thank God.
Nvidia is not operating, right? They don't have sales in China.
He's begging to have them, though.
Tesla's sales in China are like, so it's like.
But at one point, Tesla was allowed into China to then download all your intellectual property into SanDisk, and now Huawei. It's just an interesting thought exercise.
Yeah. Because even putting EVs in that space allows them to create the competitors that are going to, at one point, overtake you, right? Like when we were in Africa, we told you. When we went to Dubai, same thing.
Okay. Let's take another question from the audience that was pre-selected. Should I drop $1 million into QQY and SPYI and live off of the dividend? They said it'll be over 5 figures dividend check per month.
Those are the leverage ETFs?
SPY it was high income ETF. Okay. I love the idea. SPYI, that came about in 2022, and QQQI, I think the same time frame. If you're going to do this investment, you have to buy damn it at the lows, because they're too new, they're too speculative of an investment at the time to do so. So now for QQQI, that would be maybe if you get it at 42.07, but there's very little price movement in them. So that's the only thing that worries me. And if we go into a level, as an investor, you always have to think worst case scenario, no matter what anybody else tells you. It went from 53.8 at the start of the year down to 41, and now it's back at 53.8. It barely has moved. So you have to base this on price only. And if you don't get in at the right price, you're setting yourself up for failure. What I personally do is put $1 million into these. Not yet. Not yet. I would need to see how the asset develops over the course of 2 or 3 years. Because if we hit issue in 26 or 27, there is a world where QQQI could go down to 25. And that's a tough feeling to have $1 million in something, and then the notional value or the actual value of it drops 30 or 40% while you're in it. So be careful.
So let's talk about this, because this is like the red panda thing, right? As far as somebody says, how do I stay disciplined during these down markets when your targets don't get hit? I have been getting FOMO and want to stay focused to maximize my future portfolio. So if you're waiting for a stock, if you're waiting for, Bitcoin to hit a certain number and it's not hitting that number, do you just give in and buy it at the price because you think that it's going to continue to go up, or do you just wait?
You always have to wait and obey price. Please put this in chat. Obey price above all. Everyone who didn't got shellacked in Novo and MicroStrategy. It doesn't have, and even though he has the number of Bitcoin that he has, any asset could go to zero. The banks and hedge funds don't have to play fair. So you have to wait for the price. Like, this as a trader. If you wait for the wrong price, or you jump the gun and try and trade solely off momentum, there's going to be a time when an asset draws down 40%. Unfortunately, in trading, if you're trading on leverage, it can go past your stop loss and the broker does not care. So you can have a $5,000 stop loss limit, but when they settle, you're down 30,000. So it's a lesson you learn in intraday trading, which applies to long term. You always wait for price.
Obey your price.
Obey your price at all costs. Whatever the worst case basis is, that's where you want to place the majority of your money, and then you want to have secondary and tertiary levels after that. But just buy at any price, you're going to burn through your money really fast.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this because I know somebody's probably thinking this right now. I know my price that you've given me, but it's past the 70. It went past the 72-day EMA. It went down to your favorite 400-day EMA. Right? Is this now the point where I don't put all of my investment in, but I stagger into the investment, or just strictly, hey, the price is the price. I don't care what the EMA is, and like I'm gonna add into it that the RSI says it's oversold right now. It's oversold.
What asset? And I can say, I've always said this too.
How about Meta?
Okay. The bigger the EMA, that should always be where you're looking to load at. But that's a discipline thing. Most people aren't waiting for it to go to the 200-day right. And then in a game of trading and investing, it's always a game of patience versus those who are beginners. A patient investor will wait for 6 months for a great time to load up, or a good trader will wait 2 or 3 weeks. A person that needs to trade every day, it's like, well, I have bills. I'm like, but you may have to wait 5 days to pay the bills for 3 months. You blew through your whole fucking account trading every day and trying to trade pairs, and then you want to trade ES and ZB and UB and Dow, and you didn't wait for the right move. You have to obey price, or the market is going to teach you. There are funds that have had billions of dollars who did not wait for the right price that went insolvent. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 or 100 million or $1.5 billion in the market, you can go insolvent. Fucking Lehman Brothers went out of business. Bear Stearns went out of. Let's just like Coinbase going out of business. You have to wait for price.
Wait for it.
We have to, no matter what.
Yeah. So are you doing, obviously in futures that matters, and options is pretty much the same. So like that example that we gave earlier with Sanders, I watched that get to it at 289. And I'm talking about this, and I'm like, I just can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. A 56% drop from its all-time high. No, I'm interested. I'm interested. It's because I know the 56% drop inside of the equity itself means that it's probably at least 60 to 70 on the option side. Now we just got to figure out.
Earlier, a prime example, Lily.
Yep.
April was a prime. Okay, now. Okay, great. Home run. When a all-time asset is at a low like that, it's almost a guaranteed return basis. You got to do this for quality companies, though.
Here's a question. Is November the September and October we were waiting for?
Absolutely. For quality. If it's a C tier company, no. But if it's A class, for sure, because now the risk on is back on.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about it historically,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we kind of lead to this, like, past performance doesn't always secure future gains.
Yeah.
September has historically been a month where we saw some pullbacks and it opened up opportunities for us to invest, right? You can look at it both ways. It's a bad time to be in the market, but it's a great time to get into the market, right? Because there's pullbacks in September. October, usually the same thing. And in November, we start to see an upturn. It's the best month historically to invest in the NASDAQ, right? With an average return of like 2.7% over the past like 30 or 40 years.
Yep.
And this November has kind of been, it feels like it was the October that we missed and the September that we missed with some of this volatility. I mean, last week for sure, the week before that, and then we have a day like today. But it feels like that volatility shakes out people who don't have conviction, are not disciplined, were trading and having losses. And now it's like, okay, we've done that. Is it back to regularly scheduled programming?
And for those of you who are waiting for the Christmas rally, like, your Christmas rally money is going to come in April and November. We're not in the traditional market because there's so many more people in the market now that the velocity of the drops and recovery times are speeding up. Like, the April drop recovered so quickly. Like, if you waited a month, you damn near wanted to quit investing because you felt like you missed a generational buy. So, but obey price at all costs, man. Obey price at all costs. So,
hit the like button and share. So this is in the chat. Somebody in chat had a question. They said dollar cost average or wait to low. I'm kind of paraphrasing because I forgot exactly the question, but dollar cost average, people that don't know what dollar cost average is when you put money into the market every single month or on a consistent basis. It could be weekly, it could be bi-weekly, but let's say you have $200 and you're just putting it in. So the strategy, the idea behind that is that you usually end up better in that method because you buy low, you buy high, and you're buying the average over the course of time. So that's a disciplined way to invest, like a 401k. You just put money in no matter what the market is doing. Every 15th of the month, you just put the money into it and don't even worry about it. That's always recommended, for sure. But I think if you have larger lump sums, money, then that's when you wait for
price. If you're deploying $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 at a time, you have to wait for price. Because you're not looking at the percentages. Like, if you're putting in $100,000, you're done 28%. You're looking at 28,000. You're looking at a salary for somebody in your family when you were growing up. Like, the financial trauma part does not go away if you're first generation or second generation. You have to wait for price.
Yeah, that'll scare you. I know, like, I'm sure there's people who have just started investing. And this has been it hasn't been a typical year. Right? Like, if you started investing in January and then the deep sea thing happened at the end of that month and it was still trending down, and then April 7th happens, and you're like, this is what am I doing? And then May, June, July, August, September happens, and you're like, well, this is the greatest thing ever. And now we're in volatility again. You're seeing parts of the market that people don't like to talk about and are very scared of, and what scares people away. But that's why you got to be disciplined in this space. And I think that's why having community is important.
Yep.
Right. Because what I've noticed is that people are like, wait, no, this is explaining it. Even when we don't have to explain it, they're explaining it because they've witnessed it through the course of this show.
For the gentleman in the chat, so the 40 slots for the NVIDIA tour, you will know when that's no longer available, when it's no longer on the website. So if you see it still on the website, it's still available. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I can't calculate it at the same time that I'm doing the show. But
might be a little busy right now.
If it's you will know that the NVIDIA thing has been taken off when it is no longer on the website. That's the easiest way because when you go on the website and you don't see the Nvidia aspect, to me, I think it's a great deal without Nvidia. To be completely honest
For
with you,
sure.
because you get the Nvidia video anyway. I mean, the Nvidia is just like a cherry on the top.
Yeah, cherry on top.
But yeah, as long as you see the Nvidia on the website, that means that it's still available.
And we haven't even hit the worst of what could be in 20. Like if he's offering a $2,000 tariff credit deposit,
Yeah.
is that because the economy is doing so well, or he's trying to front run the weakness and bad leadership?
Yeah.
He took care of his kids, but the overall economy is not feeling like but the promises of making America great again and you're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of that shit ain't showed up.
Tired of winning. The 2000s coming from the alleged tariffs, right? Was that what? Because how do we get that?
And Biden was no better. Like I keep asking the question: when's the last time we had great presidential leadership in the country economically? We shouldn't have to search that fucking far. 96% of the companies are not beating the Mag 7. That's scary. That's scary as hell. And
Is that gonna be the new, but is that the new normal though?
It shouldn't be.
But is it gonna be? Because if we're looking out at least for the next 2 to 3 years. Obviously not looking out 20 years, but the next 2 or 3 for sure. I don't think that story changes.
No, and it probably get more condensed. It'll probably get more condensed.
Somebody said, I'm down 25% on CoreWeave. Should I sell or
Cut
dollar
it.
cost average?
Cut it and re-enter at a better price. This is a classic example of not all companies are created equal. Do I think they could recover? It's possible, but if you're down 20, my rule of thumb is always at 25%, you have to cut and look to re-enter. Now is actually a decent price to build a position. Like if it gets to 62.91 or at 72 flat, that could be a price to potentially buy in again. But if you're down 25%, you're at a critical level financially.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, we've been talking about it since we saw it, right? Like in March when we saw it, we've been talking about it. It hasn't been able to shake the idea of the depreciating asset for me. Right? Like if you're getting and when I'm saying the depreciating asset, I'm speaking about the GPUs, right? Because they're leasing those out for the compute out for those, but it's always the older model. And so as Nvidia makes newer models, they rent or lease out the lower models to CoreWeave, which rents it out to clients. And so at what price do you get it matters. Obviously, Nvidia has ownership in it. That debt structure, I don't know. We'll see.
And you always have to play the exercise with anything you're going to invest in of running the top 10 to see if is CoreWeave better than Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Eli Lilly.
In terms of investment as a company, but even as a fundamental of what they do, like Nibius is like their competitor now. So Nibius is doing something very similar to what there isn't really a moat for that business structure, which means that if Nibius can do it and CoreWeave has done it, and they obviously a partner with Nvidia, who stops the next company that's saying, you know what, Broadcom's going to be our partner. And they have a bigger client base, right? They're not looking for just hyperscalers. They're looking for some of these large cap to mid cap companies who now said that we are not going to pay that price. I like those prices better. Like you lose some of that competitive edge inside that second tier rental, leasing, compute power.
Invest in the companies that move the GDP of America. It'll make your investing journey a lot easier.
Okay, so we talked about one healthcare stock that has done extremely well as far as Eli Lilly, but Novo has going in the opposite direction. So Novo almost at its 52-week low. So what is the deal with Novo? Is this the opportunity to buy Novo?
Hell no. Harold might have looked like Jordan when Jordan was out of the league playing baseball, because David Stern made him sit down. But when Jordan came back, Harold minded him. Shout to Harold and his family because I'm gonna go watch. But no, Novo, they missed on an Alzheimer's drug. And it's the crazy part that's interesting. They've fallen this much, and isn't Novo's operate or net margin or gross margin 89%? Like, how do you have a gross margin that wide and that stock does that? No, Lilly's a one of one company. And I have no bias towards any of these, but Lilly's just is a better company. This is like almost comparing Meta versus Snap. I like Evan. I like the got glasses, and when the girls had the little filters, fucking 8 years ago, it was fire. But they're not Meta. Novo's not Lilly. It's not. I think if you look at it, executive management, drug, the results of the drugs, the pipeline that they have for the next 5 years, the return on assets, return on equity, there's no point where you look at Novo and say these two are the same. They had a great moment, great, but it's over with. I'm not saying that the company's dead; they're not going to be delisted. But will they ever be Eli Lilly or Amgen? No, no.
Yes, it's doesn't look great. It doesn't look great. They, Ozempic is a thing. It almost became the Band-Aid of adhesives, right? But you don't have a moat on that drug. It's like so when Zepbound comes out, other GLPs come out, lesser known, even some white label GLP comes out. That's going to cut into your business model. And again, when you have an administration that is hellbound on making sure that American companies thrive, and you are not an American company, well, every fifth ad when you watch Good Morning America, when you watch the Today Show, is going to be that American company. Tomorrow, when you watch Good Morning America, you're like, damn, Troy was right. That they're going to make sure that they're going to promote Lilly, and because it has obviously a superior product, but it has the motive of having to not rely on one thing. The Alzheimer's pill. This is like the third. I feel like this is like the third time that this has not worked.
Not worked. Yep.
I don't know how many chances they're going to get to not have it work. The stock is now trading at the 5 years ago. It was in 2021. It was trading at $42, and the stock is currently sitting here 5 years later at 45. Had a crazy run up, obviously during the GLP phase, up to 145, 147, and now we're right back down to where we were in 2021.
Yeah.
Gonna be tough. I would definitely not invest in this.
If you look since inception, when they IPO, well, their all-time low was $2.74%. Since the high, they almost have given up 75% of all those gains. I put in Stock Club earlier 10 reasons why they have underperformed, but I'll give 3 here. The expectations for the GLP-1 was too high. The manufacturing bottlenecks and capacity limits were another issue, and then also too, like outside of Lilly, the weight loss drug cycle of boom and bust has always been a short cycle of wins and extreme losses. Like if you go back to the ally drug, like this category of weight loss drugs has always had some issues, whether it was with ephedrine or heart issues or gut issues. This isn't a sustainable product line that will work long enough to allow you to build a business around it to be able to be okay. No. And then weight loss slows after 1 to 2 years. So in the best case scenario, after 2 years, it's the end of the product cycle. So the lifetime customer value is lower than every other competitor that you have for other drugs that are doing incredibly well. Like Lilly is damn near the Nvidia of healthcare. You're fighting a monster that cannot be defeated.
Yeah, this might not be one of those situations where number 2 is actually a good thing. They already announced that they're trying to get GLPs to be a part of healthcare plans. They've already, we talked about this a few weeks ago. They're dropping the price cost over the first 6 months. They're trying to do all the things. I think when you have pill form, because that's the thing, right? Like who gets to the GLP pill first? And when you have a pill form fail for a different drug, well, that puts a that red flag. Hey, this is another pill that has failed for them. That's failed for them. Who will get to it first? My assumption would probably be Lilly gets to the pill form first, and that changes a lot of things. And if they can get the right price, obviously put that as part of people's healthcare plans. Yeah.
And I said this on Stock Club too. Like Amgen is probably 4 times better than Novo too. Like Stryker is better than Novo. But if I just go through the healthcare space, there's a lot of companies that are way better than Novo. So you can argue Hims is probably a better business than Novo. And they've had some price concessions as well over the last year. It's just the wrong model. This reminds me of like Moderna. They had a great seasonal run, but you built no other business. They tried the Alzheimer's thing, like we said, but it has not been sustainable. So,
yeah, did they announce a partnership? I feel like Novo did the partnership with Hims.
Yeah,
and then they got pulled. They got pulled, right? Or it ended premature. Like it was only for like a year, maybe, or maybe like 8 months. And it was like, all right, this isn't working.
When you're in tests and start to rot, like you don't think on a SWOT analysis that would be a threat or weakness in the business. You can only PR this shit to death so far before people talk to each other and say, well, these are the issues that I'm having with taking the drug.
Yeah, you're trying to give a drug to a brand that was allegedly selling off-brand GLP drugs.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Let's
talk about Doge. So it's been obviously Elon Musk left, and now they're saying that they canceled that it's over. And the interesting thing about Doge was Department of Government Efficiency, and the whole idea was to slash the budget drastically. And the interesting thing about it is,
how's that working?
The U.S. has officially added $2.1 trillion of debt since Doge was formed. That's $6.5 billion per day for 326 days in a row. So, but one of the things, like I said, even when Mike Novogratz was saying before, is that
he did say it.
Trump has a history of spending. He's not a fiscal conservative. So anybody that thought that, okay, Trump's gonna get in office and now they're gonna just start slashing the debt. No, they've added 6.5 billion to the debt, like every single like the debt was never going to get slashed.
No.
Under this administration.
Maybe Democratic debt. Or Democratic programs, but like
Democratic programs. Subsidy programs, stuff like that.
Stuff like
that. Stuff like that. That'll get cut, but they're gonna spend more money on war. They're gonna spend more money. Like it looks like it's getting cut because they're going to, take away after school programs in Chicago. But then they're gonna send an extra $500 billion war package.
Yeah.
What happens to the people who lost their jobs because of Doge? Is that a lawsuit?
No. Who
you gonna sue?
I'm just trying to think. Like this was a department that was created and has been dissolved in the same calendar year, and people's lives are really like, you know what I mean? Like,
did Elon get his return?
Oh, he got his return.
Oh, he got his return, and then the relationship is repaired. And Trump said, "You're lucky I'm on your side." So he learned too. Really quickly,
but that's one of the things why we're going to DC, is because we got to talk to lawmakers.
Got to do it.
Vitally important.
So,
both sides of the aisle. What are you guys interested in? Both sides of the aisle.
Left wing, right wing, same bird.
So how will this play out for investing? Not Peter Thiel.
Burry. Michael Burry.
No. Man.
What are we thinking?
He wrote a book about the fall of America.
Oh, Ray Dalio.
Ray Dalio has a thesis that America's debt is going to lead to the fall of America, pretty much. That's a compact way of saying it, but he's very concerned about the debt of America. on the financial markets.
Mm-hmm.
So being that this debt is just continuing to go up, will this have a tremendous impact on the markets at some point?
Yeah, this is part of the reason why only 4% of the S&P can outperform the Mag 7. It is the debt structure that is here in America. And one day we'll have the conversation, not tonight, but who's causing the forced buying and debt increase in our country, but not tonight. I think we'll end up having more hyper concentration as a result. And I think that Mag 7 may eventually become 5 companies, maybe in 7 years. So
5? Tell me more.
When I first came out with 2 Tech 2 Index, right, the thought was like, you are over concentrated. But I talked to somebody a few weeks ago, and he was like, you probably are not concentrated enough now. It gives you a signal, even in Michael Saylor and saying invest in one asset, that's telling you that the rest of the field is filled with decay based on probability of what they're going to be able to add to the GDP and how little return they're going to be able to give. Well, I keep asking, what's going to happen to Salesforce? You can't turn that company around. You can't. It's impossible now. But there are hundreds of other publicly traded companies that are like Salesforce that cannot be turned around. And part of it is because of the debt structure that we have. There's very little innovation, very little exceptionalism, even outside of tech and healthcare. It's tough. Disney is flat. Like ESPN is, the vultures are circling around. If it wasn't for Pat and Stephen A, that shit would have been off air.
They certainly have helped. They certainly have helped.
Stephen A, keep robbing them. I'm not mad at you. I don't like the political turn you making, but cool. It's troubling though. Even in Intel, I don't want a great American company to die, but man, there's been a lack of exceptionalism in this country's publicly traded markets for a long time. And that's not going to get better anytime soon.
I'm looking at this 5 and I'm thinking to myself, are you counting currently constituted public companies, not taking into account, obviously, that OpenAI is not publicly traded?
Yes, I'm taking that into consideration. And if Sam doesn't get his affairs in order, you think Elon and got attacked, and you think Saylor getting attacked?
Yeah. Okay. Because there was talks that this $1 trillion valuation has just been slashed because of what Google has just done.
And the banks, this is the same issue and Sam needs a Sheryl Sandberg. I don't know why he hasn't given her $80 million to come out of retirement per year. Because the same issue that Zuckerberg had was when he gave Wall Street his ass to kiss, they punished him for years for that until Sheryl came in.
Did you see Nicole Lapin? Shout out to her. She had a dope post about Peter Thiel turning $1,700 into $5 billion
from his
tax free. Did you see that?
From the backdoor offer.
Huh? PayPal.
From a self-directed, right?
Yeah. So he turned $1,700 to $5 billion tax free.
They closed that loophole though, right?
No, you can still do it from a self-directed. I don't know about if you could have $5 billion, and I think after a certain point it might be taxable. But yeah, you can still do the self-directed. He had a self-directed Roth IRA, and the good thing with the self-directed is that you can invest in a variety of different things. Where traditional IRA, you can only invest in like traditional investments on the stock market, ETFs, index funds, stuff like that. But self-directed allows you to invest in real estate. It allows you to invest in gold, sometimes in crypto, and businesses. So he had $1,700 in a self-directed IRA in 1999, and he invested in PayPal at 0.001 share, one tenth of 1 penny. and he brought 1.7 million shares.
Well played.
And in 2021, that was worth over $5 billion. And the thing about it is, since it was in a Roth, it's tax free. So a Roth is tax free on distribution, whereas the traditional IRA is taxable. So he turned $1,700 to $5 billion in a relatively short period of time, 22 years, by investing that money in a self-directed IRA into PayPal.
Privately held at the time.
Yeah.
And it was smart to do such a low amount to not send any flags. But I think
there's
part of that loophole got closed.
Part of it is that you can't invest in a company that you have any ties to, work for, or own. So that's interesting. They said there were so many caveats that he met that obviously, I mean, this is not a guy who's doesn't have like super intelligence, but yeah, man, they be knowing. You're right.
But you can still invest in a private company through your Roth IRA.
Yeah.
Through a self-directed IRA.
Okay.
But yeah, as long as you don't own the company, if it's not a direct family member, the relationship, he obviously had inside relationship with owner of PayPal, who was in the process of raising money. But that's just crazy how that's kind of crazy if you really think about it.
You got to know the codes.
If you really think about it,
they be knowing.
$1,700 turned into $5 billion. That's actually insane.
That's legendary. Despite his Antichrist act, like intellectually, Peter's book 0 to 1 is very smart. You can see his whole plan. I don't agree with some of the political aspersions and investments that he's done on a political side, but Peter's a smart guy. You got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, very smart. Like you said, what he's doing now, I'm not sure what bag that is or what the end game is for it, but very smart.
He tells you in the book, global domination. He just wasn't likable enough to be president to pull this off.
Yeah.
0 to 1 is a very fascinating, because it was, when did that? I lived in Colorado, so it's probably 2013 when that came out. That's his literal, even the JD Vance and political investment and war. Oh my God, he laid it all out in the book. So
yeah, well, keys open doors and relationships matter. So Black Friday sale is now. MarketMondays.com. We giving lifetime access to Red Panda, lifetime access to EY University 2026 InvestFest VIP tickets, in-person mastermind with all of us and the Queen of AI in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol.
That's incredible.
Inside the Capitol.
Nancy, I know you're leaving, but we need a convo if you can spare 20 minutes.
We're going to have a Capitol tour, talking to high-level politicians and decision makers when it comes to fiscal policy for our nation. Market Mondays deal. And then the first 40 people, it's only 50 people, only 50 plus, only in the first 40 people, we are going on a tour of Nvidia, the largest company in the history of the world, the most important company of the last 25 years.
For sure.
And a company that has revolutionized and changed everything.
Changed a lot of our brokerage accounts.
For sure.
If you can't make it, you will get videos of the in-person mastermind, and you will get a video of the Nvidia conversation that we have. MarketMondaysDeal.com. First come, first serve.
Yeah.
50 slots available, 40 slots available for the Nvidia aspect.
And speaking of 50, if you want to win $50,000 in the trading tournament, go to the link in my bio and join the Red Panda trading tournament starting December 8th. Love y'all.
Tell me, Ian, you deserve to be rich. If not,
facts, you deserve to be broke. Choice is yours.
Choose wisely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been real, man. How we feeling? Blackout Wednesday, just in time, because I need Thanksgiving etiquette from y'all. So
it's not gonna happen on my end. I'm just letting you know. Shotty, hey, let's get canceled.
Blackout on Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
I'm not doing it.
Legendary.
For the record,
Oh
Y'all
man.
see that video? Old girl hopping, the side chick hopping in the old boy's casket in front of the wife. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That's Illmatic.
Summer Walker,
So finally over it. Maybe not.
not so much. You doing too much.
There's a lot going on out there, man. Y'all be good to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Officially speaking from the eating committee on the holidays, we appreciate all the chefs, and all the sous chefs that will be, crafting the feast. We pray for mercies of everybody. Hopefully everybody gets to see their family, enjoy it, be healthy, be safe, get to see their loved ones.
For
and
sure.
commune with each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
Communion is a real thing, man. So I'm happy that everybody gets to do that. Yeah, man, it's been real. It's been real. Happy birthday again to our brother Jay Krulov.
Jay Krulov, happy birthday, man.
Shout out to Baba. We talked. It was Ab's birthday a couple of weeks ago. His brother's birthday is this week, and his mom's birthday as well. Shout out to the whole Soul family. They actually share the same day. Shout out to Red. Danielle, what's going on? Her birthday is tomorrow as well.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Market Mondays with an S, marketmondaysdeal.com and blackout at 10 o'clock. We will be talking about Thanksgiving etiquette, proper things. Should you bring your side chick or not? Vitally important information that might, change the holidays for you.
Bringing the sides to the main dinner?
I mean, at 10 o'clock, it's kind of, we got to get like a message before, because at 10, they're probably on the flight already, right? Or how's that work?
Isn't this great? Flight leaves at 8.
That's
the main is crazy though.
That's gonna be one that you don't want to miss.
Bring a dish.
You don't want to miss this blackout. The holiday blackouts is always extra.
Bring a
extra.
dish.
Yeah. We're gonna give y'all something to talk about at the table.
For sure. Man, bring a dish.
Or
bring some champagne if you're not gonna bring a dish.
Yeah. And quit lying too. Just keep it real.
And if she don't bring anything, that's a cancellation.
Shout out to Trap. We should just bring the red flag.
Instant fire.
Instant flag.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or if she's rude to the family, wrap it up. Easy.
I said they love you. You want to tell me you love them back? I love you all.
Love you all. God bless. God bless. If you bring in a pie,
what kind?
That you did not make, that's an instant.
What you mean didn't make? Like,
if you're buying a pie from the grocery store, and that's your contribution, that means that you put no effort, no thought into that all.
Come on. Yo, Grandma Smith
gotta make an apple pie from scratch.
Yeah, them crumb pies from Miss Smith.
And most these women nowadays can't cook.
You want a woman to make a pie?
I'm saying if you are coming to somebody's family Thanksgiving, and your contribution is a store-bought,
is a Kroger pumpkin pie?
Is it made?
I don't care. You didn't make it.
Yo, can I heat this up in the oven?
Your shot tough, yo.
Red flag.
That's a flag.
You mean like family member or like extra?
No, you're a significant other.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay.
If significant other should not.
If your significant other is coming to your family's Thanksgiving,
I'm not sure about that though.
With a apple pie from ShopRite.
All right. Well, what if it's an actual well-known bakery? That counts? Because like if you went to brought a cheesecake from somewhere and it's like,
make something, man. Macaroni and cheese. You
don't want them making that.
Make something.
That could ruin an entire table. Everything. You get that wrong.
And everybody can make something. Some fish. Everybody can make something.
That's heavy. You don't want them bringing that, because if they get that wrong,
if they fumble,
it's over.
Well, if you can't,
grandma get to talking shit.
If you can't cook,
grandma eats.
If you can't cook, that's already.
Then what do you do? All right. So now what do you do if you can't cook?
Learn how to cook.
This ain't the time. You gotta learn that another holiday. Your birthday or something. Like,
I tried. This is how you get them fired. Play.
It's not hard.
This is to get them fired.
It's not hard to cook.
He said
anybody can make.
Shy lining them up.
Cooking not easy.
We can't play with that.
And Joel Santana, my boy, man, legendary. We're gonna talk about it. But reading is fundamental. But sure. I understand what he was trying to say.
You've said this for a lot of years. You've been saying this.
I understand what he was trying to say.
But I'm more proud of him taking accountability for the substance abuse and saying that, I was wrong for that.
Thank God.
And I didn't know. Yeah, that was shout out to him.
Good dude, man.
Shout out to him.
He actually performed.
And he said financial education is the most important thing.
He performed at Market Mondays live at Apollo. Legendary. Never forget.
Swaggy boy.
Market Mondays sold out Apollo We had Jim Jones and we had
Styles
Santana
P.
perform, Dipset. Man, never forget moments in time.
They said you wildin', man.
Styles P.
This
You
is
think
not the
today
time.
crazy? This kindergarten. Wednesday?
Tune in, y'all.
All right,
Y'all be
y'all.
good to each other. Love is love. We'll see y'all. Be blessed. And we out, man. Catch y'all
So if
Monday.
you bring the side, who gets to sit?
Yo, come on, man. This is the after hour turn.
Okay. Shotty.
Can we have a
Seating priority matter.
Can we have a production meeting?
Definitely,
ChatGPT can do it for you. What we doing, chat? All right, love is love, y'all. We out.
You upload them text messages and see who's been acting better. They tell you the seating priority. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Be good. Peace.
Love y'all.